Imagine discovering that the sexual habits you've cherished for decades are now the silent thief of intimacy in your golden years. What if the very patterns of your past are costing you connection today? Let me tell you about Arthur. He was 73, a kind man, a retired history teacher who found himself, after the quiet passing of his beloved wife, drawn to Eleanor. One evening, the mood was gentle, filled with shared stories and a comfortable warmth. As they moved closer, hoping to rekindle that spark of intimacy, something faltered. Arthur's body, it just did not respond the way he'd hoped, the way he remembered. A wave of cold panic washed over him. He froze. Eleanor, with quiet understanding, gently pulled back. The fragile moment was lost. And Arthur, he never reached for that kind of closeness again. Not because the desire had vanished, but because a devastating thought took hold. I am broken. This part of my life is over. I am Dr. Robert. For over 3 decades, as a health advisor specializing in the wellness of our cherished seniors, I have had the privilege of walking alongside thousands of men and women in their 60s, 70s, and even well into their 80s. I have witnessed them navigate these very waters, helping them to reclaim their confidence, restore intimacy, and protect their precious health in ways they once believed impossible. So many men and women, too, believe their intimate lives naturally just fade away with age. But I am here to tell you, that is a profound misconception. What truly holds them back, more often than not, is what they were never taught. The misinformation they absorbed, the vital truths they were never told. Today I am going to reveal 5 powerful secrets about intimacy that older adults wish they had known so much earlier. And we will also touch upon the real, often unseen, price they paid for not having this knowledge. Before we start exploring simple ways to stay healthy and well, I'd be truly grateful if you could take a moment to like this video. That small gesture helps more people just like you discover these gentle, useful tips. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please feel free to click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. That way, whenever we share something new, you'll be the first to know, and we'd love to have you with us. Now let's dive in. Secret number 1. The most dangerous time for intimacy is when you feel you have something to prove. There is a particular moment, a surge of confidence that can sneak up on a man in his later years. Perhaps it follows a good report from the doctor, or maybe a new romantic interest sparks a feeling of youthfulness he has not felt in ages. In that flush of vitality, a dangerous thought can take root. I need to prove I have still got it. This desire to perform, to recapture the spontaneity and vigor of a younger self, can lead to pushing the body too hard, too fast. I think of my patient Arthur, a spirited 72-year-old widower who had recently met a lovely woman. After a wonderful dinner and perhaps a little more wine than usual, feeling more alive than he had in years, he wanted to impress her, to show her he was still the man he once was. He ignored the subtle signs his body was giving him, the slight breathlessness, the skipped heart medication he forgot in his enthusiasm. That night, Arthur ended up in the emergency room with a dangerously erratic heartbeat. He was fortunate, but the incident was a stark reminder. Intimacy, especially after 60, is a physical activity that demands respect for your body's current capabilities, not a performance to relive past glories. When sex becomes a stage to prove your youth, rather than a shared connection, it transitions from intimacy to risk. The need to prove oneself can overshadow caution, leading men to ignore their body's limits, sometimes with devastating consequences. Remember Leonard from the original script at 74? His story was a tragic one. It is not about a lack of desire or capability. It is about understanding that the body's responses and needs change. Pushing too hard, especially without proper preparation or by ignoring underlying health conditions, can strain the heart, spike blood pressure, and turn a moment of intended joy into a medical emergency. The cost of letting ego drive intimacy can be far greater than a bruised pride. It can be your health or even your life. Wisdom in these years means recognizing that true strength lies in presence and connection, not in reckless abandon. Now, this leads us directly to a crucial indicator that your body might be sending you, one that far too many men misinterpret or ignore, often to their detriment. Secret number 2, your erections are a powerful window into your heart health. Let me be very direct with you as your physician and friend. If you are over 60 and have noticed consistent changes in your ability to achieve or maintain an erection, this is something that warrants your immediate attention. And not just because of its implications for your sex life, but profoundly because of what it might be signaling about your cardiovascular health. Many men unfortunately view erectile dysfunction, or ED, as merely an embarrassing bedroom problem, something to be whispered about, joked away, or quietly endured. But what is critically misunderstood is that a man's erection is fundamentally a cardiovascular event. It is one of the body's most sensitive barometers for blood flow. When that flow is compromised enough to affect erections, it is often a very early warning sign that something more significant is amiss within your circulatory system. I recall Robert, a gentleman of 70 years, who came to see me, gently prodded by his observant wife, Margaret. "It is probably just age, Doc, right?" he had said, a little sheepishly about his difficulties. But Margaret had noticed other subtle things too. He tired more easily, sometimes got a little breathless. I listened and we ran some tests. It turned out Robert had significant narrowing in several coronary arteries, the very arteries that supply the heart. His erectile difficulties were, in fact, the canary in the coal mine, signaling that his heart was at risk. Thanks to Margaret's concern and Robert's willingness to investigate, we caught it before he experienced a heart attack. David, in the original script, had a similar wake-up call at 67 with a 90% blockage. The arteries in the penis are considerably smaller than those in the heart or leading to the brain. This means they are often the first to show signs of blockage or narrowing due to atherosclerosis. If blood cannot flow efficiently to cause an erection, it is a significant red flag that your larger, more critical arteries might also be in the process of becoming compromised. Erectile dysfunction can predate a heart attack or stroke by several years. Ignoring this signal is like ignoring the smoke alarm because you cannot see the flames yet. The cost can be catastrophic: a sudden cardiac event, a debilitating stroke, or the slow progression of vascular disease that diminishes overall vitality. Treating your erectile function as a vital health indicator, rather than a source of shame, empowers you. It allows for early detection and intervention, which can not only improve your intimate life, but quite literally extend your life. If you notice changes, please do not hide them. Speak to your doctor. It is not about embarrassment. It is about proactive health management and survival. This understanding of the body's signals transitions us beautifully into our next secret, which addresses a common misconception about how intimacy should be as we age. Secret number 3, the myth of spontaneity. True intimacy, after 60, is built on intention. When we were younger, intimacy often felt effortless, spontaneous. Desire and ability seemed perfectly aligned. Things just happened. There was a certain pride in that readiness, that lack of need for planning. For many men, that spontaneity was an integral part of the excitement. But here is a truth that is seldom spoken. After 60, the rules of the game change. Clinging to the belief that intimacy should still be entirely spontaneous is not only unrealistic, it can be a source of profound frustration, anxiety, and even relationship strain. I have seen countless men, like Michael, a 73-year-old I counseled, who felt immense pressure and self-doubt because intimate moments with his wife of many decades were no longer as effortlessly spontaneous as they once were. He confessed, "I feel like I am failing, doctor. It is not like it used to be." He was internalizing this change as a personal failing, much like Gerald, 69, from the original script, who panicked and withdrew after one unprepared intimate encounter. The reality is, as our bodies mature, physiological responses can change. Arousal might take longer, and the physical manifestations might be different. Expecting your body to respond on demand, as it did at 30, can lead to performance anxiety, disappointment, and a cycle of avoidance. One failed attempt, judged by the old standards of spontaneity, can emotionally crush a man, leading to withdrawal and a breakdown in communication. But here is the empowering shift in perspective. Losing spontaneity is not the same as losing intimacy. What worked at 30 was largely driven by youthful physiology. What works at 60, 70, or 80 is built on something far deeper and, I would argue, more meaningful: intention, communication, and preparation. This is not a weakness, it is wisdom, it is maturity. Planning for intimacy does not kill the magic. It cultivates and protects it. It allows you to create the right environment, both physically and emotionally. It means you can consider factors like timing with medications, ensuring you are rested, and communicating openly with your partner about desires and needs. This thoughtful approach actually takes the pressure off, allowing both partners to relax and connect more deeply, focusing on the journey of intimacy rather than just a predetermined outcome. It transforms intimacy from a performance test into a shared experience of connection and pleasure, often leading to a richer, more profound bond. Now, having explored the physical and planning aspects, let us delve into a more personal, often hidden layer of intimacy, one that is about the heart and mind as much as the body. Secret number 4: sex is not just physical, it is potent emotional medicine. I want you to pause for a moment and think back to a time when you felt truly, deeply connected to another person. Not merely in a physical sense, but emotionally, where a touch, a look, or a shared silence made you feel understood, seen, and vibrantly alive. For many, especially as the years pass and life brings its changes, these moments can feel increasingly rare. The truth is, intimacy after 60 transcends the purely physical. It is a powerful conduit for emotional well-being. It is, in essence, emotional medicine. And when that deep, affectionate connection wanes or disappears, the cost to a man's overall health, both mental and physical, can be far greater than just a lack of physical pleasure. I have sat with strong, accomplished men who have built businesses and raised families, yet their voices quiver with a quiet sorrow as they admit, "Doctor, I have not felt truly close to anyone in years." They are not just missing sex, they are starving for closeness, for human warmth, for the simple, profound comfort of a meaningful touch. My patient, Samuel, a kind-hearted widower of 76, shared how after his beloved wife passed, an immense loneliness settled in. He initially thought his life of intimacy was over. He told me, "What is the point at my age?" Like Martin, 74, in the original script. He missed the laughter, the shared stories, the simple act of holding a hand. This emotional void, if left unaddressed, can silently erode a man's health. Physical affection, whether it is a tender caress with a partner, a warm hug from a friend, or even compassionate self-touch, triggers the release of beneficial neurochemicals like oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin. These are not just feel-good chemicals, they are vital regulators of mood. They reduce stress hormones like cortisol, improve sleep quality, bolster immune function, and can even contribute to lowering blood pressure and reducing the risk of heart disease. When men cut themselves off from this emotional nourishment, perhaps due to grief, societal expectations of stoicism, or past hurts, they risk slipping into what I call emotional starvation. This can manifest as depression, anxiety, increased physical ailments, and even a more rapid cognitive decline due to chronic emotional isolation. It is not simply about being in a romantic relationship. It is about the presence of genuine, affectionate connection in one's life. Some men are in marriages yet feel emotionally adrift, while others living alone cultivate rich emotional lives through deep friendships and community. Reaching for connection, allowing yourself to be vulnerable, and expressing the need for closeness are not signs of weakness. They are acts of profound self-care and courage. This emotional medicine is essential for a thriving life, not just a long one. And this brings us to our final secret, a modern challenge that can insidiously undermine a man's confidence and his very ability to connect authentically. Secret number 5, pornography and unrealistic expectations are quietly eroding senior confidence and real intimacy. There is an aspect of modern life that many men, especially as they navigate the changes of aging, turned to in private, often seeking escape, curiosity, or a semblance of sensation. I am speaking about pornography. And while it might seem like a harmless personal matter, its pervasive influence, particularly for older men, can be a silent, powerful saboteur of self-confidence and the capacity for genuine, fulfilling intimacy. Over my decades in practice, I have observed a concerning pattern. As natural physical changes occur, perhaps arousal takes a bit longer, or performance is not always as it once was, some men quietly retreat into the world of online fantasy. They may reduce or cease intimate engagement with their partners, sometimes convincing themselves that this digital substitute is normal or even a necessary adaptation. My patient Thomas, a thoughtful 69-year-old, confessed that his increasing consumption of adult content had created a chasm between him and his wife. What began as an occasional diversion had, over time, reshaped his expectations. He found himself comparing the airbrushed, choreographed performances on screen with the gentle, real-life intimacy with his wife, and reality began to feel lacking. This was similar to Walter's experience at 71 in the original text. The significant, often unrecognized cost of habitual pornography use in later life is not just about what is being viewed, but about what is being unlearned and what expectations are being distorted. The brain becomes habituated to constant novelty, hyperstimulation, and an emotional detachment that is inherent in most pornography. Real human connection, with all its beautiful imperfections, its need for patience, communication, and emotional presence can start to feel dull or even frustrating by comparison. Physiologically, dopamine pathways can be altered, making it more challenging to become aroused by natural relational cues. Some men report difficulties achieving or maintaining erections without the specific type of stimulation they have become accustomed to online, or they experience a diminished interest in real-life sexual connection altogether. Perhaps even more damaging is the internal erosion of self-worth and confidence. The curated unreality of pornography sets an impossible standard, leading to feelings of inadequacy when one's own experiences or partner do not match up. This can spiral into shame, secrecy, and a profound sense of disconnection, not only from a partner but also from one's own body and authentic desires. Men start to doubt themselves, wondering, "What is wrong with me?" when the issue often lies in the unrealistic benchmarks set by artificial stimuli. The path back from this digital disconnection involves recognizing that what you consume shapes your perceptions and expectations. Real intimacy is built on presence, vulnerability, and emotional exchange, qualities rarely found in pornography. Letting go of this habit, especially if it is deeply ingrained, requires honesty, often support, and a conscious choice to reinvest in authentic connection. The reward is a reclaimed sense of self, a deeper bond with a partner or the potential for one, and a return to a natural, fulfilling intimacy that nourishes rather than depletes. Conclusion: what you know now can empower you. So there we have them, 5 truths, 5 secrets that hold immense power to reshape your experience of intimacy and health in these vital years. We have journeyed through the dangers of proving oneself, the critical link between erections and heart health, the myth of spontaneity versus the wisdom of intention, the profound role of intimacy as emotional medicine, and the subtle erosion caused by unrealistic digital expectations. If there is one overarching message I hope you take away from our conversation today at Senior Wellness, it is this: aging is not a betrayal by your body. It is a natural progression and that calls for new understanding, new approaches, and renewed self-compassion. The struggles many men face in silence are not unique personal failings, but common human experiences that can be navigated with knowledge and support. You are not defined by the man you were at 30, but by the wisdom, resilience, and capacity for connection you possess right now. These secrets are not meant to instill fear, but to empower you with awareness. Knowing them allows you to make conscious choices, to listen to your body, to communicate openly, to prioritize genuine connection, and to seek support when you need it. This chapter of your life does not have to be one of quiet resignation or fading vitality. It can be a time of profound connection, deep satisfaction, and vibrant health, both physically and emotionally. But it begins with the courage to acknowledge these truths and to act upon them. If our discussion today has resonated with you, if even one of these insights has sparked a thought, a question, or a glimmer of hope, I sincerely encourage you not to let this moment pass unchanged. Perhaps it is time to have that conversation with your partner, to schedule that checkup with your doctor, or simply to approach your own well-being with a new level of honesty and intention. And if you are still with me on this journey, still listening, still open to growth, I want to extend my deepest gratitude. It is the men who find the courage to listen, to learn, and to adapt who truly transform their lives. You have already taken a significant step by engaging with this information. Now, I invite you to take the next one. If this message spoke to you, if any part of it made you pause, reflect, or feel understood, I would be truly honored if you would let me know. Please consider typing a 1 in the comments so I know you have journeyed with me through this. It means a great deal. And if you have not already, please take a moment to subscribe to Senior Wellness and tap that bell icon. We are committed to bringing you honest, real conversations like this one, specifically for men navigating these important years. Because you deserve more than silence. You deserve truth, tools, and the unwavering support to live your best years with strength, wisdom, and a full heart. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. I wish you health, connection, and much joy in the days ahead.